So over there in Paris, France, 9 years ago, TV reality star Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint during Paris Fashion Week. The alleged thieves were caught and their trial began this week. Now, the French media has dubbed the grandpa robbers. It pits the reality TV star against old-style aging bandits, the grandpa robbers, as they are called in the French press. The 11 men and 1 woman came on foot and bike dressed as police officers to trick the doorman at Kardashian's apartment in Paris during Fashion Week in October 2016. Now, if you guys remember back to October 2016, that was really when a lot of stuff started coming out about Kanye, about his mental stability, whether or not he was bipolar. A lot of people also did a comparison of how mental health issues are treated differently in men than they are in women. And for an example, around that time was also with the whole Free Britney movement. And people said that Britney was bipolar and she was in a conservatorship. And it was also around the same time of Wendy Williams, what was going on with her. A lot of people noticed the sexual inequality or the gender inequality when it came to mental health issues, because nobody is putting Kanye West in a conservatorship, despite the fact that powerhouse celebrities like Britney Spears and Wendy Williams were in conservatorships, of their finances as well as their persons. So a lot of people are wondering what's going on with that. How come Kanye West, a man, is able to just run amok? Nobody thinks there's anything strange about that. So that's something to ponder, but let's get back onto what's going on with the trial. Back when this broke in October 2016, a lot of people were also saying that, this was just a ploy to kind of win sympathy for the Kardashian clan, for Kanye, because of the fact that they are such high profile celebrities. But it happened. And now these people are on trial in France. So one suspect is in his 70s. Yes, that's right, his 70s. His name is Younes Abbas. He has written a book about the heist. He has already served 20 years in prison for burglary previously. And he said, quote, "I told myself this was really the last time, but a 20-carat diamond without protection, that was tempting." He said in an interview with French broadcaster TF1, "I had no idea who she was. I was just told the wife of a rapper." The ring, however, was known. Kardashian had more or less been bragging, showing off the ring to her more than 300 million followers on Instagram around the time of his death. Abbas said they only stayed about 6 minutes. His getaway bike had a flat tire and his bag of jewels got caught on the bike and ripped. The jewels fell out onto the streets of Paris. A $24,000 diamond cross necklace fell into the gutter and was found the next day by a passerby who wore it until she turned it in. This is like an episode of Keystone Cops. This is like SNL skit, a Mad TV skit. This is like something from, you ever saw the movie White Chicks? I don't know what this is, but this is like Beverly Hills Cops. It's reality. Sometimes reality is better than anything that you could see on scripted TVs. And the amateur gangsters with nickname like Old Omar and Blue Eyes used tape and Velcro to restrain Kardashian and left their DNA everywhere. They were caught within 4 months. Now, even though they are old geezers, old-time robbers, old Omar, and whoever else, Blue Eyes, most of them have lengthy criminal records in France for stuff like burglary. Mohan Ouija, lawyer for the security guard who was tied up and now has PTSD, says it might seem humorous, but it is serious. Kim Kardashian described the night as the worst moment of her life. Her $4 million diamond ring was never found. She will return to Paris to testify in mid-May next month. Abbas says he wants to apologize. The trial has begun of 10 people who are accused of robbing Kim Kardashian at a Paris hotel in 2016 this week. The reality TV star and businesswoman was tied up and held at gunpoint in a luxury suite where she was staying during Paris Fashion Week. About $10 million, which is about 7.5 million euros worth of jewels, were taken from her, including her $4 million engagement ring from then husband Kanye West. In a grand courtroom adorned with 19th century tapestries, the court was given a fascinating snapshot into the lives of the diverse cast of characters suspected of involvement in the heist. The president of the court, David Depat, suggested that the book shows Abbas was proud of what he did, something he has repeatedly denied. When asked if he had any sympathy for his victims, Abbas said that he never did before the Kardashian heist, but this time, "I do regret what I did. It opened my eyes." Anybody believe that? The court also focused on Gary Madar, whose brother's company provided transportation and taxis to the Kardashian for several years. Now 35 years old, the father of two has been accused of feeding information to the gang about Kim Kardashian's location on the night of the heist. Now, you guys remember that a lot of people also opinion that it was an insider job. A lot of people speculated that it had to have been maybe employees of the hotel, maybe employees of the security team that was a part of Kim's entourage. So At the time, Gary worked as a customer service agent in airports for the transport company. His job was to welcome VIPs arriving at Paris airports and escort them through passport and customs checks. Through his job, he met the Kardashians several times. But he also worked at a cafe owned by another defendant to whom investigators believe Madar passed on information about Kim Kardashian. Now, Madar has denied this, and his lawyer has said that he should not be charged along with the group because there is no solid proof of his involvement. Mark Boyes, 78, who was accused of supplying the weapon that was used to threaten Kardashian, was also questioned at length. He expressed regret that his son, Mark Alexander Boyes, also a defendant, had grown up surrounded by thieves and crooks. The rest of the week will see more defendants take the stand as the trial takes on towards May 13th, the day that Kim Kardashian is expected to testify. Most of the 400 journalists reporting on this trial are expected to flock to the courthouse on that day, and court staff are unsure how they will accommodate so many reporters who want a front row seat. The court will only hear from 10 out of the 12 people who were arrested in 2017, as one died last month. Remember, these are the grandpa robbers, so they're pretty up there in age and health and whatever. So one of the 12 died, and another one who is age 81, yes, that's right, you heard that correctly, 81 years old, will be excused as he has advanced dementia. And you guys watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's why when people say, no way, what happened to Dorit is legit, I'm reading this, what happened to Kim Kardashian, and I'm reading like the ludicrous things that are going on in this trial, and I'm thinking, you know what? It is not the strangest, most unheard, unrealistic thing that Dorit was in a home invasion where the robber left her cell phone. And here's a bit of advice, Dorit Kemsley. The next time somebody is skeptical of what happened to you, just point them to Kim Kardashian's trial. The crime happened almost 9 years ago. Paris in particular were very busy with large terrorism trials for several years, which caused a backlog in the court systems. While this is obviously very traumatic and, I'm making light of it because it's just so obnoxious and absurd, it is very traumatic. The Paris court system, they've been dealing with a lot of terrorism trials, which is why, her court case, her trial was kind of backlog. I don't want to say it was put in the back burner, but obviously, national security trials are going to be of more importance. Also, the long wait had to do with the defendant's age and health issues, which meant they spent little time in provisional detentions. I mean, look, these guys are pretty old. But you know what? These are career criminals, so really, why would you expect them to change that much in their old age, right? These were people who were more or less in and out of jail, criminal activities their whole life. So a zebra doesn't change their stripes, a leopard doesn't change their spots, etc. So we should not be too surprised that even in their old age, they're still criminals. So they also weren't held in detention and jail because of their health issues and their old age. And once they were free, it felt less urgent for judges to bring this to trial.